Our next author is Petey the Plane. He's 50% man, 50% plane, 100% Petey the Plane. He's here to read from his series of fiction for airplanes with this crime noir, jet fuselage, in the South Atlantic. Please welcome Petey the Plane.
Hello. My name is Petey the Plane. I used to work at Boeing. Then I realized after reading many books, there's not a lot of books out there for airplanes. So I've been writing a series of books for airplanes. This is my crime noir. So folks, put your trays and seats in the upright position for a wild ride of suspense, thriller, and action, in a jet fuselage in the South Atlantic. The day was the 10th of a miserable, rainy, cloudy day in the month of September. I looked out the window and realized the low cloud ceiling was preventing me from solving any real cases, not that it mattered. It felt that I had out of cases the Wright brothers were pissing their diapers. My door was so covered in dust you could barely make out. Etched in the window, the jet fuselage, private biplane for hire. I lit another cigarette from the box of wings I had on the table and took another swig of Thunderbird. Praying to Hermes, the god of flight, that the landlord would get off my tail wing about the rent I owed, and that that's when she walked into my hangar. Now, this wasn't your ordinary bird who comes in talking about how she thinks her pilot husband is coming in for a landing into anything and everything about sea level. No. No, those birds usually have faces and bodies to take any connecting flight to get away from, even if it was the red eye to Walla Walla, Washington, using Delta flight number 3925, connecting through Detroit. Then the flight number 281, connecting through to Seattle, then, and flight number 7601, finally arriving in good old Walla Walla. That's a 14-hour flight that should have been 4 hours, but it's worth to get away from the average bird who walks into my office. No, this bird had the body you'd take a $25 voucher for to get a later flight. She had legs that went so high that it had red blinking lights just so I wouldn't run into him at night. She had a face you'd taxi 4 hours just to get a glance. Which meant one thing to me from my years of experience. She could be as trusted as an announcement that there's only a 15-minute delay. You jet fuselage? She said with a voice that probably brought more planes down to the Bermuda Triangle. You can read the sign, can't you? And I don't see any other private biplane sitting at this desk, I retorted. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were doing so well you could turn down cases. I'm assuming all those peanut wrappers in your trash means you've been living the high life. She cut through me like the bus from Speed. Honey, your charm sounds like you can handle your own baggage. No need to check it in with me. She said, look, jet fuselage, I need your help. I got 2 tough planes the size of 777s that have kidnapped my parents. Oh, why don't you take it up with the choppers at the precinct? They said the first moment they sense cops, my parents are dead. Now, I may not have had the best parents myself. My dad and mom split up early when she caught them leaving in a jet plane. If you know what I mean. My mom was such a drunk she couldn't tell her fore from her aft. Well, that doesn't mean I should separate her from her parents. I don't know, sounds out of my pay grade. She replied, "Jet, please, I'll pay you up front." She wrote a check, handed to me with an amount of zeros I haven't seen since the passengers on the flight to Cleveland. She signed it, Miss Q. I said, "I'll take the case." I stood outside the bar. Miss Q told me the 777 thugs were hanging out. The South Atlantic. Now, I didn't know the South Atlantic, but I know the bar used to be the Mile High Club. Name change wasn't going to change it from the rough and tough bar full of seaplanes from the docks, a few balloons full of hot air, and always a couple of stealth bombers who you didn't know where they came from. I'm saying you didn't want to be there unless you were looking for a fight or something to get real high. You know the stuff, rocket fuel. I asked the bartender where I could find 2 frequent flyers who had a couple of standby passengers they were trying to get off their wings. The bartender motioned to the back, and I opened the door, and there was 2 777s who could have been cargo jets.